Hi, this is Ellen Wanjero with BlackFilm.com, and I'm joined by Brandy Evans, who headlines Star's new acclaimed drama, P-Valley. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
I love this series. I love you in this series.
Thank you.
It's compelling, it's gritty, it's layered, it's seductive, it's funny. I mean, it's mixed with all the right ingredients.
Mhm.
And so P-Valley depicts the unseen lives of women who work in a strip club called Pink down in the Mississippi Delta, aka Dirty Delta. And in a lot of ways, P-Valley is shattering misconceptions of strippers and or strip clubs. What
Right.
does it mean to you to be at the artistic helm of challenging such a deep-rooted perception?
It means everything. I know the biggest deal to me was making sure we got it right. And I wasn't worried about the writing because Katori, of course, did everything justice in my mind as far as writing and doing her research. And now I believe everyone's able to see it coming to the forefront. But it just means the world because these women have voices that deserve to be, to be told and to be heard. And I love that I'm a part of that, being able to portray Mercedes and give these women a voice, for you to see that these women are beyond the pole, that they're beyond their professions. They have a lot going on. And this is the first time I think you're able to see that on TV, seeing what the women are doing behind the scenes as well.
Exactly. And so your character, Mercedes, is a veteran dancer, the GOAT, if you will.
Yes.
The one that everybody comes to the club to see. Were you in any way nervous taking on this role?
A little bit, but not. I'll say a little bit only because in the beginning, of course, the stigmas that did that are out there right there. But once I talked to my dad, who is a preacher, I'm a PK, he's
Ooh.
not practicing anymore. But, my dad was even listening to what the story was about before it even hit the air. And he's like, I see more, I see the story. And so I was like, okay, well, Daddy, if you can see that, then hopefully the world will see that as well, because I'm not just doing this to show my body. I'm not just doing this to get attention. I want you to actually see these women and see their stories and hear, because a lot of these stories, I want to say 90% of everything that's happening in the show is coming from some sort of real life experience that either Katori has been involved with or either she's read about or spoken to someone about. So I really wanted it to be authentic.
And it certainly comes across as authentic. I think that's the heart of the show, the authenticity of it all.
Yes.
How long did it take you to prepare for this role? And we're talking about all the acrobatics, the pole. I mean, talk to me a little bit about that.
Now I learned all of my stunts in 10 days. So the way, yes, 10 days, well, really 8, because we only made it through 8 days of dancing. So Jamaica Craft, our amazing choreographer, brought in Spida, who is in this world, and she performs herself in the clubs all around the country, all around the world, actually. Spida literally travels the world doing pole. And so she brought her in, and Spida did the boot camps and teaching me all of the new tricks and just tricks in general, how to walk, how to stand, what you should be feeling in a certain situation. And then she took me even to Crazy Girls in LA. And we had a night where I was the mentee and she was I was Autumn Night and she was Mercedes, teaching me what to do. And look at this guy, look at how she moves, look at how she's performing, look what she's wearing, opposed to look at, compared to what she's wearing. So all the just different sides of this world. And then of course on set, like a 3-stack trick that you see on episode 3, we were learning that on set. So it was like, okay, at that point my fear was gone. So Jamaica had an amazing double there to do things for me, like the head drops and things of that sort. I'm not allowed to do. I'm not even gonna lie, my knees are bad, so I didn't want to be bounced up and down on them splits 50 million times. So thank you to my double that did that for me. But a lot of the things I wanted to do myself because I'm a former dancer, and I'm like, wait, that looks cool. Let me do that. So I'm very grateful that she was allowing me to do those things.
And so what percentage would you say it was you on the pole doing the hard stuff?
Oh, 98 for sure.
90%.
Because I do climb to the top. I am at the top doing that. And then of course we were rotating in between takes. So there was a time where the double did come in and she would do it as well. But yeah, I was clack, 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 drop to the split. I did all of that. And so it was, but that one that actually ended up on the film of that split, that was my double, the drop on the split. But I did behind the scenes on that stuff. But and I get it. It's for camera too, and she's is stronger than me because that's what she does. But I'm very excited to be able to see myself, like I said, in about 98% of the stunts.
That is impressive. Wow. So what I love most about Mercedes is that she lives her life unapologetically. She's intentional with every move that she makes on and off the stage. How much of that is Brandy poured into the character?
Say that question one more time. I'm sorry.
My apologies. So what I love most about your character, Mercedes, is that she lives her life unapologetically. She's intentional with every move that she makes on and off the stage. How much of that is Brandy poured that character?
Oh, that's Brandy for sure. I'm very similar to Mercedes, and everything I try to do is intentional as well. And if it isn't intentional, at that point, it's like, okay, well, we got to go full out in this situation and make it intentional now. So that is very similar to me. I do everything for a reason. I started training even before I got the role for P-Valley because I knew that I was going to be that one that was like, let me try it. Let me do this and that. So I was intentional about that as well. Like before I even got word that I was pinned for the job, I was in pole classes upside down, like teach me this, teach me that. Beforehand, I remember Patrick Ian Polk, our producer, going, you don't have to do all that. It's not time for that. I was like, not time for who? It's time for me to get on that right now. So.
And that comes across. I mean, going back to authenticity, like, you know, the work that you put in before definitely comes across during it. It makes it so believable and so relatable. It's like you were made for this series. And, you know, so kudos to you for making it do what it do. The cast consists of such an eclectic group of people, which is one of the things I love about P-Valley. And I think it's what sets P-Valley apart, certainly one of the things. And the fact that it's in the Deep South adds yet another layer of uniqueness. Was how it may be received ever a concern when you first took on this role?
No, I just wanted people to give it a chance because I knew that if they saw it, then they would love it. So it was just a matter of just turn your TV to stars, y'all. And once we get you in there, you're not going anywhere. But the problem was getting people, not the problem, but for me, my thought was trying to get those people to actually come into our world, to actually just watching the show, because some of the people that were saying things hadn't seen it. They only saw a trailer. And it's like, oh, just gonna be just like what we've already seen, you know, another, you know, show of blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, that's just like, to me, meeting a person you've never met. And because you see them and they remind you of something you've seen before, you've already judged them, which isn't fair. So I'm glad that ratings don't lie, boo. Okay, because we were so, you know, I'm glad those people that tuned in, and even our new people that are tuning in now that you believe in us, because we got picked up for season 2. Welcome to the world.
Congrats. And that trailer did such a good job setting up what it was going to be. I mean, for the people that get it, all we needed to see was that trailer, and I was sold. I was sold.
Yeah, they did a very good job with that. And Katori too. Katori is very hands-on. Her hands are in every single part, from everything you can imagine. She's in the hair and makeup trailer with us. She is not playing, and I love it.
And so, speaking of Katori, women are heavily represented on screen as well as behind the scene. It's created by Katori Hall. It features only women directors, editors, DPs, casting directors, and even the music features 50% female artists.
Yeah.
How do you think the female lens has helped deliver a series that doesn't objectify or exploit women?
That's exactly what it does. It makes it where you're actually listening to us. So it's like usually a scene where a woman is completely nude. You're actually wanting to know what her story is, because first of all, the DP has lit it so beautifully that she looks like art and not just a body. So you know, when you got to peeking through your camera trying to see, or through your, you know, your TV to see more, and it's like, well, shoot, you can't really see. So now you got to listen. So I love that, you know, our amazing crew in general just made everything feel safe. And then having those women there made it more comfortable as an actress as well. You know, we're not dressed fully, we're half dressed. And I love Rita and Alita, our wardrobe stylist, making sure we were comfortable in whatever, because just because it's pretty does not mean that it's functionable. So everything that we were wearing was functionable as well. And just having women involved helped with that too, because a man, let's just be honest, a man might see me like, oh, it looks good. But I'm like, well, I can't do a stunt in that, or I can't walk in these heels. And they're like, but it looks good, wear it. The women were like, walk in these shoes. Does this cover you fully? Can you spread your legs and you're still appropriately covered? You know, those types of things were discussed, which I don't think would have been discussed if it were more male of a more male crew.
Agreed. I feel like women understand women a lot more, obviously. And so that's why it comes across the way that it does.
Right.
The relationship between Mercedes and her mother, Patrice, played by Harriet Foy, it's beautifully complicated and toxic. And back to the parking lot scene in episode 1, my God, I was in tears, but then I couldn't help chuckle when you said, well, I heard hella lit though. I mean, that line is classic. Can you talk a bit about the inspiration behind that dynamic, the mother-daughter dynamic on screen?
Yes, that inspiration is from my mother, Diana Harrington, because back in the day, honey, child, she was a little bit of Patrice. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
So, so with that, I actually, my acting teachers and coaches, Raquel Gardner and Tasha Smith, we follow the Power of the Actor book. And so we do substitutions. So my substitution didn't have to go far or think of any. Diana was my substitution. So I used my mom in all of those scenes with Harriet, and it's therapy. If I'm honest, it's therapy. And no, Mama didn't have me twerking out there at the Waffle House, y'all. But some of the things are very similar to how I grew up with that toxic mother-daughter relationship, where I was trying to validate myself with my mother, and all I wanted was her love. And even now, sometimes I still feel like I want that validation. So I try to use that in my art.
That's such a relatable relationship, because there's so many of us that have those similar type of relationships with our mother. So it's yet another layer of P-Valley that you don't even know that you're going to get, but you get. And you walk away from that feeling like, wow, I learned a lot from this episode. Love that. What do you enjoy most about your role and or the series?
The authenticity of it. I love that I don't feel like I'm acting. So it's really weird at times when people are like Mercedes, and then sometimes I feel like I'm Mercedes, because I'm like, oh, I'm not Mercedes, but then I kind of am. So the authenticity of it, and it just being so similar to her. I love my scenes with my dance teams because as a dance team coach, that's really authentic. I'm actually worse. So in episode 3, that was light. Brandy would have really showed out a little bit more than Mercedes did, because I go crazy over my girls and being appropriate and things of that sort. Like I have crashed a school dance before in real life. So I play no games. I hear you grinded, I'm on my way to the school.
Nice.
So in that sense, it just, all of it, authenticity of it, the therapy of it. I feel like I'm healing while being on this show with a lot of things that I haven't had time to actually unpack. I'm unpacking on camera.
And it really does come across like you're not even acting. I feel like I'm peeping through a window to life actually happening instead of watching someone playing a role. So that speaks a lot to, your skills and your commitment to this role. So I can't say it enough. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Last question, please. Well, it's not really a question. It's a pleading statement. Please tell me we're going to see more of Mercedes in Maine, played by Thomas P. Jones.
Why are y'all trying to hook Mercedes up?
Look.
No.
All of it together. I'm hoping that we get to see some sort of synergy at some point. I'm here for it.
Keep watching. You never know. And I never know what Katori's going to do either. You don't want Mercedes to be Coach?
Say that again?
You don't want Mercedes to be with Coach?
I'm Team A right now.
Me too. Look, and we ain't gonna be messing with no more married men, so
Okay, so yeah, stay tuned for that. Listen, thank you so much for doing this interview, for talking to Black Film. We cannot wait to see more of you in and out of P-Valley. In my book, you are someone to watch, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me on, and make sure y'all watch Sunday, because it is a roller coaster. It's about to go crazy for Mercedes on Sunday.
Listen, because episode 1, 2, and 3 has been hella lit. So you're saying 4 is going to be even more?
Literally.
4
crazy. And five is just out of this world. So it just continues to grow.
I'm so excited that season 2 is coming because
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even imagine what's going to pop off in season 2.
Me too, because Katori won't tell us anything, but we don't ask her because we already know Katori's like, just live in the moment. When you get that script, you'll know. So
Yeah,
excited about it.
I'm excited too. All right, take care.
You soon. Thank you.
Bye.